I love such iconic things that mean anything to the world or anything to my life. You know, I grew up watching these movies like American Me, Grease, and these were all movies that had one of my favorite landscapes, which was the Sixth Street Bridge.
Ooh, woo, that one meet, the last and final, the goodbye meet, it was hosted there at the Sixth Street Bridge.
There was this photo meet the day before the Sixth Street Bridge was going to be demolished, and we all met up.
It was the official day that this was the last day that people were gonna be able to drive through the Sixth Street Bridge before it was closed to the public.
Before this, the city had its own party for the Sixth Street Bridge, which was awesome. They had a lot of vendors. They gave away T-shirts. But I feel like this was really the photographer's way to just send the Sixth Street Bridge off.
I mean, anyone that like was interested in photography knew about that spot, and unless you had a bar mitzvah or a wedding to go to, like you were basically gonna be there.
I get there, everything was fine. You had the lowriders driving up and down for the last time, getting their sweet-ins. You know, some of these people, they've met their lovers, their wives, their husbands on these cruises and all this stuff. And it was, for them, it was iconic being able to come from East LA into like downtown Los Angeles. So I'm there, everything is beautiful. You know, the cars are passing by. As a photographer, you're shooting these cars that are right in front of you. And now the cars, what they started doing is they started swerving around and they started stopping. People were seeing the cars. It was a hot moment for the drivers and the photographers. Now people are in the middle of the street. Guys are even fucking parking as far as like the bridge itself. You know, all this stuff is going on, and then eventually you have a patrol car that gets called in. So you have 2 officers, and then one more comes in. So now there's 4 officers and 200 citizens on this bridge, wilding out.
Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell is live in downtown LA, where that landmark 6th Street Bridge had a spontaneous going away party tonight, and the LAPD responded. Amy.
The pictures change after the growing crowd blocks traffic and LAPD officers move in.
Tensions are high. Obviously, you know, you have some people, they go, like, you know, the cops are behind them, they're there, they're like going like this, getting their picture taken. It's all sweet and whatever. I really forget the name of the girl that was the one, but I remember she had a skateboard. She got really close to them. And this is this whole thing. You don't ever get near a police officer with a skateboard, at least for me, being a Mexican.
After that girl got arrested, I mean, things just escalated. I think we started seeing helicopters coming in.
Shit's popping off, you know, everybody's tensions are so like they're so high that it's beyond belief that at any second, anything could happen.
And then you had Hura like in helicopters, and then just Hura everywhere, literally.
I remember me being on the bridge, like the metal part, and I was on there just flinging like fire. And I remember the cop helicopter was on me. It was a cool moment, but it was fun. Luckily, I had my mask on, so no one knew who it was.
They were kind of doing some fire up there that was not right, I guess, and they were jumping on top of the bridge.
Someone in the crowd sets off a smoke bomb, and police order everyone to leave the area.
More cops are coming in from every single direction. You know, the helicopters that came in, every division got called in from Los Angeles to show up. Yo, we're shutting this shit down. Everybody needs to get off. And, you know, so now you have everybody scattering, running around.
I mean, it got to the point where I think people thought we were having like a little riot, and they had one side filled with like 20 cop cars. They had the other side full of like cops in riot gear. And I remember my favorite photo from that was somebody holding up like an American flag, like standing in front of the SWAT, like police officers. I remember being a kid and just being like, damn.
They like made a line and they were just pushing people back, and it would just seem very excessive for a bunch of photographers. Everybody's
getting kicked off of the bridge in a manner that you would have thought that there was a shooting somewhere. It was something heavy. It was photographers and Angelinos just taking in what for them was a very important moment. But the whole time as they're lined up, all I could see is like, yo, this is nuts. I gotta shoot this. So I'm just shooting away. And I get this last photo, and it's once we're at the bottom, you know, the cops are completely lined up. You see the 6th Street Bridge, and the fucking moon was just rising that night. So it was huge in the back. None of my photos, like, you know, got the moon with full details because it was fully blown out. But that moon that was full and huge, that big, just like, you know, the whole moon, like full moon effect, it just got everybody going.
Get on the sidewalk right now!
They just saw kids doing fire breathing and doing steel wool and the smoke grenades. And if you were a cop looking at this, it looked like a riot. When I first got into the scene, it definitely looked like that. I thought that's what it was.
It was not like wild in which the news said it would, but it was just a good, fun gathering. It was just like, I don't think the SWAT team had to come down.
I'm very sad to see the old bridge get torn away, but I'm definitely excited to see this new bridge and a lot of the new features that it's gonna have. It's gonna be awesome to really explore that new structure.